no-code cross-chain infrastructure. Get started. Quickly about the agenda for today's meeting. We're going to talk about cross-chain challenges that cross-chain developers are facing, what is Swing and how it works, some use cases that we built around Swing, and then a quick demo at the end on how to use our no-code cross-chain infrastructure. So quickly about Swing. Swing was founded by Silicon Valley alumni, myself and 2 other members from Apple, Amazon, LinkedIn. We're backed by some of the best, Republic Capital, Arrington Capital, Our Sense of Assets, Avalanche, Seller. We've been in the crypto space for a little while, as far back as 2016, where we started building smart contract applications. We built Ethereum Plasma scaling solutions in 2018, personally involved in that. And we also launched ERC 1504, which was the upgradable smart contract standard that developers are all widely using. I also personally founded the Silicon Valley Blockchain Consortium in 2017. You can see our team members have pretty strong backgrounds from Apple to Stoplight to Amazon, IBM, BlackBerry, and we do have all our notable investors at the bottom. So to kind of dive into some of the challenges that we've seen with cross-chain developers, number one, fragmentation. As blockchain ecosystems continue to grow, what we've noticed is that the liquidity fragmentation problem also continues to grow. Number two, teams that rely on a single bridge integration end up being extremely vulnerable. The reality is we've had $2 billion worth of hacks over the last 2 years, and that's because they were connected to a single bridge and they're absolutely compromised. The number of bridges, number three, are just growing rapidly. Over 70 bridges today to connect to all these different blockchain ecosystems. And we've been probably getting hit up every week for the last 6 months about a new bridge project that's coming online. And number four, it's just really time consuming to integrate bridges into your application. If you're trying to bridge between Polygon to Avalanche, Avalanche to Solana, Solana to Cosmos, that's 3 separate bridge integrations and you have to maintain every single one. The go-to-market is just absolutely long in general. Weeks to months is what we're talking about. So what is the problem that we've identified? There needs to be a unified solution for crypto liquidity. We're looking to connect the bridges and blockchains of the world to the Web 2 and Web 3 applications of the world. We've realized that a liquidity layer that sits in between could actually be very beneficial for the entire ecosystem. So what are we doing at Swing? We've built out a set of APIs, SDKs, and a front-facing widget to help you handle cross-chain capabilities. And we've deployed smart contracts across all the different chains that we support today. Here's an example, if you look, of our widget product on the right-hand side, where we're moving USDC from Avalanche to Polygon. That's actually a real quote. It costs 50 cents to do this transaction. Some key features about Swing. Number one, omni-chain liquidity. We source liquidity from DEXs, aggregators, and also liquidity available on the bridges. Number two, chain agnostic smart routing. We've built out a liquidity routing layer across all the different chains that we support, and we help find the best price execution for any swap that you're trying to do, any token to any token. And last but not least, we also support contract calls across chains. This means that you can build complex logic into multi-call smart contracts to build things like cross-chain swaps, cross-chain NFT purchases, cross-chain wallets, the list goes on and on. Some of the bridges that we support today, about 10 today, and this list is growing every quarter. Stellar, Axelar, Hop, Hyphen, dBridge, Synapse, Across, Multichain, Connects. If you are a bridge team, feel free to reach out to us. We do have an evaluation process on the bridges that we want to select to add, but this list is definitely growing. I mean, out of the 80+ bridges that we've seen, we've identified these so far as the bridges that we'd like to work with. Some of the connected chains that we have on Swing support over 30 blockchains today. Majority of them today are in the EVM world, but we also are now charting a path into the non-EVM side. We currently support 10+ chains on the Cosmos side, and we're looking to tap other ecosystems like Solana and others as well. Please pay attention to our socials. We'll be doing some of these announcements over the coming months. Some of the connected wallets quickly. MetaMask, Brave Wallet, Wallet Connect, Coinbase Wallet, and Kepler specifically for the Cosmos ecosystem. We are looking to add more wallets, and if you are a wallet team, feel free to reach out. We're happy to talk to you. Security audits. We have been working on, we've done about 4 security audits to date. Halborn and Pecshard are our partners in this space. Every single time we make major code changes, we like to kind of kick off an audit. Because we are doing a cross-chain and all the security concerns involved in this, doing regular audits is a common practice within our team. So let's talk a little bit about how this actually works. So at the core, it's liquidity aggregation is what we're solving here at Swing. But let's talk about an example where we start with, let's say, Uniswap on Ethereum, and we want to end it with BNB token on Binance Smart Chain. So typically the way that this works is we first tap our liquidity partners, 1inch, Paraswap, or Uniswap, to initially kick off the original swap from Uniswap into a stablecoin. This could mean we usually will look across all the different liquidity pools. Sometimes we may go directly to Uniswap if there's concentrated volume in some of the tokens that we're looking for. Once the USDC is on the Ethereum side, we will then send that to a bridge aggregator, our bridge aggregator, where we will then compare all the different prices across the different bridges that offer this particular swap. And we like to work with bridges that provide native canonical tokens. We're not looking to move wrapped assets. The intention is to have native USDC on Ethereum and also to be delivered native USDC on the Binance Smart Chain side. So in this scenario, we have USDC now sitting on Binance Smart Chain. And again, we tap our liquidity partners, 1inch, Paraswap, and PancakeSwap, among other DEXs as well, to then do that swap from USDC into the final token, BNB token. And so this is an example of kind of how we handle liquidity aggregation. You can replace, the Ethereum blockchain or the Binance Smart Chain with any of the chains that we support. And it's fundamentally the same kind of flow in terms of how we handle these swaps. Especially for non-EVM swaps, it's also a similar process, but we're just utilizing a different bridge in the middle to make that swap happen. Some of the use cases that we currently support, these are use cases that have been identified by talking to customers: cross-chain staking, cross-chain swaps, cross-chain wallets, GameFi, and Metaverse. On the cross-chain staking side, we're working with teams, especially with POS coming online pretty soon with Ethereum, one-click liquidity deposits directly from any chain into Ethereum staking pools. On the cross-chain swap side, we just did that example where I just showed you how it works. For wallets, they can accept deposits from any chain, or they can even integrate swaps directly into their application. GameFi and Metaverse, where we allow them to move assets or skin digital NFT assets within the game or between chains as well. So over the last, I would say, 24 months, we've spoken to a lot of teams, and I think some of the issues that we've identified are essentially summarized in these 4 points. Number one, technical skills are primarily required to launch a bridge, and there's clearly a lack of customization in terms of which tokens you can support, what kind of bridges you want to enable in your application. Number two, there's a high cost of integration maintenance. If a bridge goes down, or if you want to add a new bridge, typically this takes dev cycles and can take weeks or months to get this resolved. Number three, there's a lack of access to transactions and metrics. It's not really easy to know, what kind of volume is moving through your bridge, which bridge is moving the most volume for you, what are the top pairs that maybe your users are currently transacting with. It's all very kind of it's a bit of a black box today, the way it's kind of being handled. And number four, the most important point, teams are absolutely vulnerable during security breaches. There's no way to mitigate a problem. If a bridge gets hacked, you're essentially a sitting duck. There's not really much you can do. If the developers are not awake, it's the middle of the night, your protocol is compromised. There must be a better way. I'm excited today to announce that ETH Denver 2023, the launch of our Swing platform. I'm going to stop right here. And call upon our wizard and software architect, Chris Lott, to do a demonstration of the entire platform. Thank you, guys.
All right, so I'm going to do a quick demo of the platform that we just launched today. So after you create your account, you come to the project creation screen. So we currently have 3 different integration types that you can choose from. So we have our embeddable widget, we have a JavaScript SDK, and we have an HTTP API. Obviously, if you're not ready to build your integration yet, you can skip this step. But for the sake of the demo here, we'll do the widget. The next screen you're presented with is a page where you actually, you can name your project. The most important piece here is your project identifier. So your project identifier basically just tells us to associate whichever transactions are going through your integration that they should be associated with your project. So then after you create your project, when you log in. You'll be landed on the dashboard page. So the dashboard page gives you a breakdown of all of your key metrics. So key metrics are, say, the total volume that's been sent through your project's integration, the total number of transactions, total number of unique wallets. So these are unique users that are actually using your application. The total volume per chain. The top pairs. So these are what are users actually sending? What are they receiving? How much volume? How many transactions for each of these individual pairs? And then a breakdown of the top bridges. So these are the bridges that are the transactions are actually being routed through, and you can see the total volume being routed through each bridge and the total number of transactions. Obviously, you can click at the top here. We have a share button, so you can invite your team members if you want to give other people on your team access to your metrics and data. If I click over here to the bridge tab, this is where you can see a list of all the bridges that we have enabled. So by default, every project starts out with all bridges enabled. But let's say, for example, if a bridge gets hacked, you can quickly come in here and disable that bridge. Or if a bridge is operating pretty slowly, we make it very easy for you to disable it. Or, if, for example, if you have a partnership with one particular bridge, you can disable all the other bridges and just have that one enabled. If we change projects here, we can switch over to the Transactions tab. So the Transactions tab is actually a live updating list of all the transactions that are flowing through your project's integration. You'll get live statuses like if the transaction's in progress, if it's failed, why it failed, if it's completed. You get a breakdown of what the actual pair was. So what did the user send? What did they receive? How much did they receive? Which bridge was it routed through? And what's the user's wallet address? So if we switch back over here to the configure screen, this is actually where you'll be able to configure your integration. So you can configure it by creating individual rules that limit the send side and the receive side to basically limit what users can send and receive. If we click on the try configuration, you can see we have our widget embedded in here with the default configuration loaded. And one of the main benefits of our no-code platform is we actually host a version of your configuration live in a hosted environment. So if we click over here and open this up, you can see that it's really just rendering our widget with the default configuration loaded. The default configuration just means that users can send from any chain, any token, and receive on any chain and any token. Well, let's imagine that we're a token project, and we're trying to allow users to move liquidity from any chain, any token, into our specific token on Ethereum. How would we do that? So if we come back over here to the configure screen, we would create a new rule. Let's keep the send side the same, so allow users to pick any chain and any token. And then let's scroll down to Ethereum. So let's just allow people to send to the Ethereum chain. And then we'll pick a token, so let's say 1 inch. We'll save this rule. Go back to the configuration. Open up our hosted project. And you can see that the configuration's already been loaded. So what this means is, just like before, users can pick any chain and any token, but on the receiving side, they can only actually choose Ethereum and 1 inch. But now let's say, for example, we want to enable this for multiple blockchains. We could come back over here to the configure screen. Let's disable this rule here for an example. Open up, create a new rule. And let's do Ethereum, and let's pick Aave this time. And then for another blockchain, maybe we'll do Polygon, and we'll also pick Aave. We'll save this. We'll reopen up our hosted configuration. And just like before, you can see that the configuration's already been loaded, and the receive side is locked down to Aave Polygon and Ethereum Aave. Cool. And then we'll head back over here. And last but not least, this is only available to our select customers, but if you want access to this feature, you can request access right within the application. But it's the ability to monetize your project. So you can monetize it by enabling fees that will be added on top of every single one of your users' transactions. Cool. And like we said before, this is all available now. So you can go to platform.swing.xyz or scan this QR code and sign up and create an account.